Hello and welcome back to Dukascopy TV. I'm Ben Jones. Inflation data for France was released earlier today. It was slightly better than expected, but figures still fall below targets. Joining me on the line to discuss the current state of the economy and the impact of QE on the French economy is Maxime Alimi from AXA Investment Managers. So Maxime, the inflation rate for France has come out at 0.8% on an annual basis. It's been hovering below 1% for a while now. Were you expecting a figure like this?
Yes, I think we were expecting low inflation in France for the past couple of months, and we actually expect it to continue for the next few months, and we just see a gradual recovery by year end. It's important to note that most of this softness is related to global factors, essentially non-core components of inflation, especially food and energy prices have been falling for some time. And now, because they are picking up again, we are expecting this recovery later on in the year. But also it's important to remember that low inflation is not necessarily bad news for the economy, and actually low inflation has been a support for households in terms of purchasing power over the past couple of months.
Now, recently, the majority of discussions surrounding the Eurozone are related to quantitative easing. What are the latest developments, and how do you see this affecting future inflation figures for both France and the Eurozone?
So the ECB has been telling us that on its own forecast it's going to miss its inflation target for the next 3 years. And obviously this is not tolerable, and that's why the market is widely expecting the ECB to cut interest rates at the June meeting. And actually we may even see a deposit rate going into negative territory. This is important for inflation because this is likely to have a negative impact on the euro, which, as you know, is a strong driver of inflation in the short term. Beyond that, I think what would help inflation in France and also in the euro area as a whole is that the ECB goes into unconventional territory and especially starts to purchase assets, probably also ABSs in particular.
And finally, GDP data for France is released tomorrow. Recently, growth has been very minimal and the unemployment rate is still hovering above 10%. With this relatively weak data, is there an economic struggle in France, and what can be done?
Yeah, I think France is really lagging the recovery in the euro area. We actually expect the GDP numbers in France to be pretty soft tomorrow. Actually, they should be lower than Germany, but also Italy and Spain. So it is a relative disappointment for the French economy. The main reason really is the household sector. Unemployment is very high, and as you know, private consumption is the main driver for growth in France historically. Currently, fiscal uncertainty is high, and hence households are very cautious in spending. So overall, we think the government is quite optimistic in its growth forecast for the short and medium term, and we only expect GDP growth at 0.8% this year and just 1% next year.
Maxime, thank you once again for joining me. That's all we've got time for now. Stay tuned throughout the rest of the week though, as we bring you plenty more updates and exclusive interviews. Bye for now.